Hello everyone, we're at 5.3 transaction. This is a bit of a long problem, so I decided to make this a standalone video. Okay, we're trying to simulate some sort of banking transaction, okay, where we can either make a deposit or withdraw, or make a withdrawal, okay? So we're gonna set up, Codehs wants to set up an if elif else statement. So if they make a deposit, we add to their balance. If they want to withdraw, we subtract from their balance. But if they want something other than that, it's an invalid transaction. We only do those two things at this bank. Okay, and then we want to make an if else statement saying that if they withdraw too much money, you have a negative balance. Otherwise, we'll report their final balance. So this is what some examples of what some output would be depending on what the user types in. So this is where comparison operators, if elif else statements really come into play. We don't know what the user is going to input, so we have to be ready for all different outcomes here. So let's get started. I think the first thing we should do, let's just go back up. First thing we should do, the customer has an initial balance of 1,000. All right, so let's just create that variable, balance 1,000. Okay, we have that here. Now I'm thinking, let's go down and let's kind of create this line right here. Let's create that line. So we're gonna just put transaction. Okay. Input input, let's see, what are we going to input? Let's input this. Okay, I don't like that one is capital, one's lowercase. I'm going to make this lowercase. Now we will learn code later on about how no matter what the user writes, we can make it case sensitive and things of that nature. But just leave it like that for now. So now let's do our next line, enter amount. Okay, we're just gonna make this amount. Okay, good. So let's input where is it? Enter amount. All right, good. Let's enter amount. All right, so now we have a situation where now we have the user can input, deposit or withdraw, or enter amount. Remember, we want this to be a number, so we're gonna specify to Python this is an integer. That is gonna be key. Now that we set up our variables of importance. Now let's create this if elif else statement. Okay, so let's take a look at it. So let's do if transaction, right? First thing, if it's a deposit, you want to add to their balance. So if transaction equals deposit. Okay, so if the user types in deposit, if transaction equals deposit, what do we want to happen? We want to add to the amount of their balance. All right, so we're going to keep the same variable balance because we want to print it later, okay? But we want to add to it. So we have balance plus amount. Okay, so now whatever they type in, we're adding that to their balance. I misspelled that word. Okay, good. Now that should work. Now, what else is Codehs instructing us to do? If the customer's making a withdrawal, subtract from their balance. Okay, so elif transaction. Okay, double equal sign, withdrawal. Okay, what do we want to happen? All right, we want to take the same thing, right? But we want to subtract from the balance. So instead of adding to the balance, we want to subtract to the balance. Now, as a bank, we have to be prepared for somebody coming in wanting to do something that we just are not capable of. So if it's something other than this, we're going to print invalid transaction. Okay, just like it says here, just so we can make sure we have the right wording. Okay, someone might come in asking for a loan or something like that. We're just not prepared for that as a bank. So at this bank, I should say. So finally, what are they asking? We got this covered. So now let's create a program using an if-else statement. Okay, so if now we're trying to prepare if the balance is negative, right? So what would it be if balance is negative? How do we write that? If balance is less than 0, what do we want it to print? We want to let the user know that they cannot have a negative balance. Sorry, we cannot give you money that you do not have. Okay. All right, good. So now, if it's not negative, 0 or positive, what do we want to tell the user? And this is where this last line comes into play. This final balance, right? We want to print final balance. Okay, so the user knows how much money they have left. We want to just provide a little space, and now we want to actually add balance here. So whatever our calculations give us, we want that to be here. Now, please remember, you cannot combine a string with a number, integer or a float. So we have to convert this to a string just for printing purposes. All right, so let's see, how does this work? Okay, good. All right, it works. So just so you can see, let's pick deposit. Okay, let's pick deposit. We enter the amount. We want to deposit $500. Our final balance is $1,500. Good. Let's pick another scenario. Let's say we want to do a withdrawal. Okay, enter the amount. We press enter, then enter amount pops up. We want 500. Press return or enter. Your final balance is $500. Now let's say someone wants to withdraw. Okay, we press return, enter the amount, $2,000. You cannot have a negative balance. Okay, and let's just say last scenario. Somebody comes in, wants a loan. Okay, withdrawal, they type in loan. Okay, we enter the amount. Let's say I want a $5,000 loan. Invalid transaction, final balance, 1,000. Okay, so all right, so good job everybody. Let me know if you have any questions.